All right, good morning. Another day, another blog here. So today we just got the Wild Gothic Sleeps reward. So this is going to be me, going through the blog, kind of giving my thoughts on the rewards and specifically the prayer, God alignment prayer, since these are not mentioned in here. So let's go through here. Yeah, it has been a while since we've heard anything about it. This quest is on the summit. It said it was going to come out summer 2024. So, that's relatively soon, in the next couple months. So, it's good that they're kind of getting these out now since it had been a while since we've heard anything. So, basically on the rewards, it looks like here, they give the background. Used to have dragon claws from tormented demons, and the community didn't want those to move from chambers. And I agree. I don't think that it would have been a great idea to move those from chambers. It would have just really devalued chambers itself. And I don't see why quest rewards should steal a reward from an end game raid. So they're going. Basically, it looks like we've got kind of three Demon Bane weapons here. So the Firelight. I guess first off, I don't really like the name. Firelight. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it looks cool, like a flaming arc light, that could look cool. But it sounds like a firefly. It doesn't sound very like intimidating. But basically, this is just a buffed arc light. And so they're dropping like an attachment. I don't think they say if these are tradable. I'm assuming these will all be tradable though. You don't need to charge it, which will be nice. Yeah, I don't see anything on here. But yeah, assuming these will be tradable, I would hope they would be. Special attack, same as the arc light special attack. So this seems like it's gonna be like Biss against Serb and Sire. I don't really know. I mean, obviously, like Abbey demons, if you're doing a Slayer task there, but you wouldn't melee them anyway. So I think I'm trying to think. I don't know if I mean melee Zammy, but you wouldn't do that either. But having some new weapon, Biss Serb and Sire. I mean, those still are two pretty camped bosses. So I think that's still good. I think this is a fine reward. I think this is definitely the best out of the three. Is the Firelight. If I was gonna buy one, this would be the one I would buy just for Serb tasks since I still want the pet. Newest Scorching Bow. So this is just a basically new bow, 30% accuracy and damage against demons. And then yeah, dealing with if they bind them for 20 ticks on the special attacks. That's pretty cool. You on the special attack, you basically bind them for 20 ticks. So they're saying it'll be basically better than the Bofa against demons. I would need to look at the calcs on this. Maybe I will run them later today and tweet out kind of what I find. But I'd be curious if this is actually going to be better than a Tebow at Zammy, God Wars Dungeon. Because if it's not, I don't think it's going to be very useful. I mean the 20 tick freezing would be nice. So I guess even if it's close to the Tebow, if you could freeze Sammy for 20 ticks, then you could basically you don't have to 5-0 anymore. You can just sit there and smack them. So that would be nice, like quality of life. I'd enjoy that. But if it's like significantly worse, it's still not even going to be worth doing that. So it really all depends here on if this is going to be good, decent against Sammy. If this is really going to be useful because you're not gonna be using it. I mean, I guess you would use it. I wonder if you would use it for sire events too. I don't know. I don't know if those even count as a demon, the abyssal sire events. But I still think shadow would be better. And then the mage staff here. So it doesn't give you a damage boost, but it auto casts combat spells from the Arceus spellbook. So it's all demon bane spells basically. And it doubles the bonuses. I don't think this is really gonna be good at all. The special attack restores 25% of special energy. And that's fine, but I don't know. I don't think this is good at all. I don't see any situation, even with the double bonuses, where you would be auto casting Demon Bane. So really, out of these three, the Firelight is the only one that kind of stands out. It's like, okay, this will be really good. This will be nice. The Scorching Bow, if it's decent, depends on if it's decent at Zami. If it's not decent at Zami, it's not good. And then the ignited staff is kind of useless. Then the last one, the Iron Man claws. So deals up to 175% damage, 3 hits. But these are literally just real similar. Yeah, these are just Iron Man Dragon claws. I mean, this is all these are. These are like slightly better than the DDS, but I actually it depends on the monster's defense. They're not always better in a DDS. These are just like I don't think these are really useful at all. I mean, yeah, these burning claws are like super underwhelming. I don't really think that. Yeah, I don't think these really have a huge use in the game. I think they need to rework this a little bit or just scrap it altogether. I mean, I don't see the issue with just having the 3 Demon Bane weapons. I don't think we need these burning claws here. And then, oh, they actually do say untradeable here on the Firelight too. I just noticed that, so that's annoying. They should definitely make that attachment tradable because, yeah, definitely whatever this attachment is, make that tradable because I'm gonna get upset if they don't. I don't want to have to grind tormented demons. I'm a main. That's the point of being a main. So, yeah, make those attachments tradable on these things. Get rid of these burning claws. And then, the last thing I wanted to talk about is what's not on the blog, which is the God alignment prayers. So, obviously I mean, it's been what, like a year and a half, where we've kind of gone back and forth on this new prayer book idea. So originally they wanted to bring in the, Zaros prayer book for DT2. The beta happened. It was just like incredibly broken. They weren't able to make it work, so they scrapped them. They were in the league, obviously. And, one thing I see people talking about the league, and they're like, oh, well, those, the new prayer book was in the league and it wasn't that broken. It's like, well, it's a league. Like, everything's broken. So, of course, when you're hitting twice as fast, a new prayer book's not going to feel as impactful. But in the main game, it really is. So, I don't think that's a good comparison. You can't really look at how it felt in the league. But they try to kind of pivot them a little bit to like God alignment prayers. So you have I can't remember at the original at the start. I think they had like 4 God alignments, and each God alignment would have like 6 or 7 prayers, and those also that kind of first iteration of that did not get great feedback. I personally didn't like. I mean, each prayer book had about 5 different variations of smite. It felt like, or redemption. So I don't, it just kind of felt weird. They seemed a little convoluted. And personally, I don't hate the idea of a new prayer book. What I would love to see, and I would think too, other people would like this as well. I mean, people wanted the new prayer book for DT2. They wanted, and I think people really want curses. They want the old like ancient curses prayer book. They want turmoil. They want soul split. And I think that's fine. And I think a way that Jagex could do that without totally breaking the game, because, there's always the fear like, oh, soul split and turmoil, those, huge power creep. But if we had a prayer book, so separate from the main prayer book, obviously, we have the new, whatever the Ancient Curses prayer book is, you could call it just the Ancient Curses prayer book. And we, we have the deflections, and those, just make those work like overheads, honestly. Just even call them like overheads. I don't care, but they don't need to do anything special. They don't need to deflect, and the chip damage, the whole, 90% or whatever it was in the original beta for DT2, where the protect item prayers only protected against like 90% of damage. That's not good. That's not fun. The chip damage is super annoying. So just make it protect against 100%, and you can even make it recoil like, I don't know, like 1% of damage or something. That would be like 1% of damage, and you can wait around or something. I don't know. It doesn't even need to do that though. Just make it an overhead, 100% protection, whatever, and then just add turmoil and add soul split to it, but don't give it any range boosting or mage boosting prayers. So basically, you have the ability to use turmoil, which will be better than piety. And let's look at it. We've got the Augury and Rigor come from Cox, and those are tradable prayer scrolls. They've been in the game a while, but still, they're coming from an end game raid. And then the best in slot melee prayer, we have Piety, which comes from like a 15-year-old quest. Like Piety. It's time for Piety to be upgraded. It's time we can bring Turmoil into the game. But if we do it like this, we bring Turmoil in, but we lock it behind a separate prayer book where you won't be able to use Rigor or Augury. All of a sudden, you've got a major downside if you're doing if you're doing Toa, for example, especially with these new rebalancing changes where augury will give you damage boost, you wouldn't be able to be on that separate prayer book. But you would be able to be, let's say you're going and you're doing wildy bosses or something, melee only content, or even if you're let's say you're doing Tob and you're like melee DPS or like a North Freezer, really any role other than the Ranger, you would be able to bring in the new spell book, or say the new prayer book, because you'd be primarily meleeing. So you're gonna still lose DPS. I mean, you'll still lose the range DPS at Nilo boss, but you'll also gain a bunch of melee DPS. So you have that trade-off, and it's worth it for those accounts, but then it wouldn't be worth it for the range DPS to do it, since he's going to be losing so much DPS at Nilo Room. So yeah, I think that's really the kind of the best compromise I see. Just bring in the new prayer book, bring in Turmoil, bring in Soul Split, and because also Soul Split is not that overpowered, especially now that we have Altscape. Like, healing is not. We have Altscape, we have Blood Fury, we can heal a ton. Like, you can basically go and kill any boss for an infinite amount of time, and you just re-gear with an alt or whatever, and Soul Split's not going to change that. So I think that prayer in and of itself is fine. But yeah, just release it. Turmoil, Soul Split, give them really high prayer requirements too. I mean, have Turmoil be 95 prayer like it was back in the day. And then you can also just add, I think, you could add a scroll, Turmoil prayer scroll from, Tormented Demons. And I mean, in the name Turmoil, Tormented, right? That seems like it works out lore wise. So, add a prayer scroll drop from them. That would be worth a ton of money. I mean, these, they would definitely be worth killing for sure if you gave them that kind of as a rarer drop there. So I think that's kind of the perfect solution. I would love to see that in the game. I mean, I would love to see Turmoil and Soul Split, as long as they give Turmoil the old animation too, because that was the fucking sickest animation of all time. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts overall. I mean, I think these three weapons are fine. They need to be. I mean, this needs to be bested Zammy, and I don't really even know what you would do with the staff. Staff's useless. So these two are fine. Staff useless. Iron Man claws are dumb. Give us Turmoil, give us Soul Split, make them their separate prayer book, and so you have to choose between using that or Augury, Rigor, and Piety. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you guys made it this far, be sure to comment what you guys think. What would you think about a new prayer book? What do you think they should do? Do you think they should bring back Turmoil and Soul Split like I mentioned, or should we just kind of keep it the same? So yeah, let me know what you think, and thanks for watching, guys.